In today's video, we'll be replacing the thermostat in a Dometic or Atwood water heater on an RV and trying to make sure the problem doesn't return. The symptoms that led me to the thermostat were as follows. We noticed the hot water seemed a lot hotter than usual, to the point of scalding the skin if we weren't careful, but with an interestingly welcome side effect of being able to take longer showers. Not too long after, I noticed the fault light turn on at the monitor panel. Turning the electric element on the water heater on and off seemed to make the fault light go away, but it would eventually come back, and it also wouldn't allow the propane portion of the heater to be turned on so long as the fault light remained on. And if we allowed the fault light to remain on, the water would eventually become cold, so hence there can be a duality of symptoms. The cause of these behaviors turned out to be a failed thermostat. If you open the panel for the water heater on your RV, you should be able to see a foam covering with 4 wires coming out of it, with one side labeled ECO and the other thermostat. Both of these are actually fixed temperature thermostats. The thermostat's job is simple. Once it reaches a certain temperature, it opens an electrical contact which tells the control board to turn off the heating element. The one labeled thermostat has a fixed set point of 60 degrees Celsius or 140 degrees Fahrenheit. The one labeled ECO, or emergency cutoff, has a fixed set point of 82 degrees Celsius or 180 degrees Fahrenheit. Therefore, under normal circumstances, the water should never exceed 140 degrees. But in the case of the main thermostat's failure, the ECO is the backup plan, which explains the scalding hot water, because it'll keep heating the water until it reaches 180 degrees. Once the ECO trips, however, the fault light on the panel will turn on and disable the electric element, which given enough time will make the water turn cold. If both thermostats fail, the pressure relief valve will eventually dump all the water in the heater because it'll just boil the water and build pressure. Either that, or the thermal cutoff blows and disables everything, whichever comes first. To replace the faulty thermostat, you'll first need to buy a kit like this one. It includes the thermostat you'll need, as well as a bunch of spare parts, which are good to have on hand. Start by turning off the water heater. Take a photo of where the wires go so you know how to put them back in case the wire colors are different from what I show here. Unplug all 4 wires, then peel off the foam covering. To be thorough, use a razor to scrape off the remaining glue. To remove the thermostat, rotate it in any direction until the notch comes out through one of the 3 tabs. Repeat until it is completely free. When choosing the right thermostat to replace it with, look for this stamp. This is the thermostat with a set point of 60 degrees Celsius. Do your best to clean the mating surface off with some sandpaper and water to ensure proper contact. Thread the new thermostat in the same way. Align the contacts facing up, then tack the new foam piece on. Replace all the wires and turn the water heater back on. If all went well, it should now no longer exceed 140 degrees Fahrenheit. Depending on which state the water heater was in, it may need to heat to that temperature or wait to cool off. Now I will say, these thermostats shouldn't technically be failing because they are very simple mechanical devices. Only 2 months after I replaced this one, it failed again. And while replacing it, I noticed hard water buildup all around the thermostat. I took a closer look and realized that the blow-off valve was slowly leaking water from its threads, not to mention that it was installed crooked. I don't have the footage for this unfortunately, so just bear with me. I turned the heater off, shut the water off, drained some water out of the bottom plug here, then removed the exhaust port by removing this bolt here and this bolt as well. Then, I removed the blow-off valve by twisting it counterclockwise with some channel locks, and realized that whoever installed it didn't put any thread sealing tape on the threads, and just packed the rim with plumber's putty, which was a futile way to hold water back. That pretty much explained the leak, and once I wrapped the valve's threads in some tape, and put it back in the right orientation, I haven't had the problem return. Alternatively, it could also be that the blow-off valve itself is in need of replacing if it's leaking from the spigot. I figured I'd be remiss in not mentioning this, because otherwise the problem might come back. I hope this helped. Until next time, thank you for watching.